During the graduation ceremony, an unexpected moment unfolded that instantly captured the attention of the teachers, abruptly halting the proceedings. The auditorium, alive with excitement, buzzed with anticipation. Families, friends, and faculty members filled the room, all gathered to witness a milestone, the graduation ceremony. The stage, proudly adorned in Riverside High's signature colors, stood ready to honor the achievements of the graduating class. Years of hard work, late nights, and perseverance had led to this very moment. Among the rows of students clad in caps and gowns stood Elena, 18 years old, adjusting her graduation cap with a shaky hand as the magnitude of the day sank in. Her graduation robe swayed gently with each breath she took, a symbol of both pride and the weight of her journey. Around her, laughter and whispers of excitement floated through the air, a shared moment of triumph and joy. For many students, the day marked the reward for academic efforts and the unwavering support of their families. But for Elena, this day carried an even deeper significance. She wasn't just celebrating a personal victory, she was rewriting a future that had once seemed lost. At just 15, Elena had become a mother. Her son, Owen, was now 3 years old. Becoming a parent as a teenager had been a life-altering experience. One filled with sleepless nights, daunting responsibilities, and countless challenges. Yet, despite the odds, Elena had remained determined. She was not only graduating for herself, but for her son, the little boy who had become her guiding light and greatest source of strength. Just as the ceremony reached its emotional peak, something in the crowd drew the eye of one of the teachers. Whatever it was, it caused a sudden and unexpected pause, freezing the flow of the event and turning every head toward the source of the disturbance. But in that moment of stillness, Elena stood tall, a symbol of resilience among her peers. Her story was unlike most. Her journey began when, at just 14, she met Julian, an 18-year-old who worked at her school. To young Elena, Julian seemed like the embodiment of everything she admired: confidence, maturity, and charm. The attention of someone older made her feel seen, valued, even special. Their friendship deepened quickly. For Elena, it felt like a dream until one impulsive decision changed everything. She became pregnant, and the weight of reality came crashing down. She was barely entering high school, ill-equipped for the life-altering road ahead. When she finally worked up the courage to tell Julian, her hopes for support were quickly shattered. He responded with hesitation and avoidance, making excuses before ultimately disappearing from her life altogether. His abandonment left her not only heartbroken but utterly alone in facing the future. What came next was even more devastating. When Elena told her parents, their reaction was not one of compassion but of shock and fury. They were deeply conservative and could not accept the idea of their teenage daughter becoming a mother. Racked with disappointment and shame, they gave her an ultimatum: either give up the baby or face the consequences alone. Elena chose Owen. She had lost Julian, and now she had lost the support of her parents. It was the darkest chapter of her life. But in her despair, a light emerged: her older brother, Paul. At 23, Paul had recently moved in with his girlfriend, Lillian. When he learned about Elena's situation, he was stunned. But unlike their parents, he did not judge. He saw not a mistake, but his little sister in desperate need of love and help. Without hesitation, Paul opened his home to Elena and offered her the one thing she needed most: safety. With Paul and Lillian's help, she found a new beginning, a stable environment where she could raise Owen and return to school. Now, standing on the stage in her graduation gown, Elena wasn't just a high school graduate. She was a survivor of circumstances that could have crushed her spirit. She had risen above rejection, heartbreak, and overwhelming responsibility. And as the crowd looked on, many unaware of the depth of her journey, her heart swelled with pride. This wasn't just a ceremony. It was a testament to the strength of a young woman who refused to let adversity define her. He, together with Lillian, became an immovable rock upon which Elena leaned during the most daunting 9 months of her life. They were there through every moment, from the early, uncertain days to the final trimester. They accompanied her to every doctor's appointment, held her hand during the hardest nights, helped her prepare the nursery, and offered a steady stream of reassurance. More than anything else, they provided what Elena had lost: a foundation of love, stability, and unwavering support. Despite their best efforts to shield her, Elena could not escape the harsh gaze of a judgmental world. Whispers followed her in school hallways. Sideways glances greeted her at grocery stores. And once close friends slowly drifted away. Her youth, her growing belly, her very presence invited a level of scrutiny that no teenager should have to bear. But Paul never let her fall into despair. With a quiet strength, he reminded her again and again, "You are so much stronger than you think, Elena. This isn't the end of your dreams, it's the beginning of a different one." That belief in her potential kept her going. Paul's dedication went beyond moral support. He took on extra shifts at work to ensure the household bills were paid. Meanwhile, Lillian, who aspired to become a teacher herself, tutored Elena after school, helping her keep up with assignments and stay on track academically. Together, they became her chosen family when her biological one had turned away. Balancing school and motherhood was anything but easy. Elena's nights were often sleepless, split between soothing a crying baby and studying for exams. She poured herself into both roles with every ounce of energy she had. And slowly, with determination, she made it work. All of that effort culminated on graduation day. Clad in her blue gown and cap, the tassels swaying slightly with every breath, Elena stood among her peers. A surge of emotion welled up inside her: pride, relief, gratitude, and awe at how far she had come. This moment wasn't hers alone. In the crowd, nearly 3-year-old Owen sat on Lillian's lap, dressed in a tiny suit that Elena had picked out days before. She wanted him to see this moment, to witness the milestone that symbolized the beginning of a better life for both of them. The principal took to the podium, welcoming students and guests. And soon the procession began. Names were called. Students crossed the stage to cheers. And the ceremony marched forward with steady excitement. When the announcer called out Elena's name, she inhaled deeply and smoothed her gown. Her heart pounded as she stepped onto the stage. She scanned the crowd, searching for Owen. There he was, smiling wide, waving both hands, his joy spilling out in little claps. Elena took her diploma, her heart swelling. The applause thundered in her ears. But then, suddenly, a ripple of surprise spread through the front row of teachers. Their expressions shifted to confusion and curiosity. Murmurs passed from one person to the next. The principal paused, puzzled. Following their gaze, Elena turned, and her heart stopped. There, toddling down the center aisle, was Owen. No longer in his seat. He was making his way toward the stage with careful, determined steps. In his tiny hands, he clutched a small bouquet of bright yellow flowers, slightly crushed, but clearly arranged with care. A collective gasp. Then soft laughter spread through the auditorium. The little boy's eyes sparkled, and his face beamed with joy as he closed the distance to his mother. Elena's vision blurred with tears. She knelt, arms outstretched. Owen reached her, placed the flowers in her hands, and, his voice amplified by the microphone, said, "Mommy, flowers for you." For a long, beautiful second, time seemed to stop. The room erupted. Thunderous applause, cheers, and even tears rippled through the audience. Teachers who had moments ago looked concerned now smiled with admiration. Even the principal stepped back, visibly moved, allowing mother and son to share their moment without interruption. Elena clutched Owen tightly, overwhelmed by a tide of emotion. This was what she had fought for: every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every tear had led to this. Standing proudly on a stage, diploma in one hand, her son in the other. As the applause swelled again, louder than before, she knew it wasn't just for her academic achievement. It was for her story, her courage, her resilience, her love. Holding Owen close, Elena stepped forward to the microphone, her voice trembling slightly with emotion. "I want to thank my family, my teachers, and everyone who stood by me when I had nothing left to stand on," she began, pausing to glance down at Owen's smiling face. "But first and foremost, I want to thank my son for giving me a reason to keep going. You gave me strength I didn't know I had. These flowers are from you. But this moment? It's all for you." And with that, a standing ovation swept the room, one final, resounding tribute to a mother's love, a child's innocent heart, and the unbreakable bond that carried them both across the finish line. "I want to thank Owen," Elena said, her voice trembling with emotion, "because this day is as much his as it is mine." The auditorium erupted into a standing ovation. Teachers who had been startled just moments earlier by Owen's unexpected walk down the aisle now clapped with genuine warmth, their expressions transformed by understanding. They saw not just a little boy interrupting a ceremony, but a symbol of love, perseverance, and the quiet, powerful triumph of never giving up. And something shifted in the air. What had begun as a formal celebration of academic milestones now became something deeper. The ceremony no longer felt solely about diplomas or achievements. It became a tribute to every story behind the success, the hidden battles, the resilience, and the triumph of the human spirit. After the ceremony, Elena and Owen were quickly surrounded by a circle of well-wishers. Classmates who had barely spoken to her before now approached with genuine admiration, offering congratulations and asking to meet the little guy in the suit. "Owen, in his perfectly tailored outfit, greeted them all with shy smiles and enthusiastic high fives, melting hearts with every interaction. He had unknowingly become the star of the evening. It wasn't just Elena's academic success they were celebrating. It was the journey, her grit, her sacrifice, and the love that had carried her through every hardship. Her teachers came forward next, their faces full of emotion. Miss Carter, who had watched Elena grow from a quiet, uncertain girl into a poised young woman, embraced her tightly. "We are so proud of you," she whispered, her voice quivering. "You've faced challenges most of us can't even imagine, and you've done it all with grace, courage, and such quiet strength. You are a true inspiration." Soon, Paul and Lillian joined her, their pride unmistakable. Paul wrapped Elena in a tight, tearful hug before lifting Owen onto his shoulders with a grin. "You did it, kid," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I always knew you would. And Owen? He's got the best mom in the world." The rest of the evening became a time of reflection. Elena couldn't help but think back to the day she found out she was pregnant, the fear that gripped her heart, the uncertainty that loomed, and the judgmental voices that echoed in her ears. So many had doubted her. Some said she had ruined her future. Others said she would never graduate, never succeed, never dare to dream big again. But Elena had chosen to write a different story. Instead of surrendering to the weight of those words, she had fought. She had fought through exhaustion, loneliness, and despair. She had faced it all with determination to create something better, not just for herself, but for Owen. Now, wrapped in her graduation gown with her diploma in hand, she held her son close. A wave of pride washed over her. Every sleepless night, every tear, every sacrifice, it had all led to this. This wasn't just about a piece of paper. It was about reclaiming her life, her voice, and her future. Most of all, Elena had become a living testament to her son. She had shown Owen, and everyone around her, that even when life takes unexpected turns, even when the road is difficult, dreams can still be reached. Her story became a spark of hope in the community, proving that success isn't about having a perfect journey, it's about the courage to keep moving forward in the face of hardship. As she stepped into the next chapter of her life, Elena did so with a strength that had been hard-earned. With Owen in her arms and her dreams burning brightly in her heart, she walked forward, one step at a time, ready to shape her future on her own terms. If this story moved you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share your reflections in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and found the story inspiring, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content celebrating real people and powerful moments. Feel free to share this video with someone who might need a reminder of the strength within them. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you again in the next story.